Join me in the pledge of the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Lynn, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Vanderwater?
Here.
Ms. Lesniak?
Here.
Mr. Tucker?
Here.
Ms. Dickman?
Here.
Mr. Dozinski?
Here.
Ms. Saban?
Here.
Mr. Sykes?
Here. First item of business is to approve the minutes of the organizational meeting held on January 6, 2021. Entertain a motion to do so.
Moved.
Second. Any questions, comments, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is the approval of the regular meeting minutes that was held on January 6, 2021. I entertain a motion to that effect.
Moved. Second.
Any comments, questions, changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1 is budget transfers per the comptroller's memo. Entertain a motion to adopt these budget modifications and authorize the comptroller to make the budget modifications as outlined in his memo.
Move.
Discussion? This is all year-end stuff, finalizing 2020. Put that year to rest, at least for our finance.
No, just thank Greg to send it, that he sent it to us early so we could look it over.
Right.
That was helpful.
Right. Any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is consider approval for the supervisor to execute a 5-year agreement with Onondaga County Board of Elections for the use of town hall as a polling place location. Entertain a motion to that effect.
Moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is just for election day, general election day.
There's no early voting. I called Michelle Sardo and talked with her, and I said, that really creates a lot of chaos in town hall, and we don't want to be part of that. She said, this does not include early voting. So
What about
it's just
primary?
Primaries and election days, all.
That's for 5 years.
Every 5 years? I don't remember.
I think this is new that they're doing 5-year agreements.
I don't know, Lynn, did we ever do one of these before?
Years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 5
Well,
years, huh?
we used to run it ourselves at one time, so we didn't need
Yeah, the
to.
town clerks used to do it, so they didn't need it back then.
That's
but
right.
We may have done one since the town clerks, the Board of Elections took it over. We may have done one since then.
Howard and I would set all that stuff up.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Committee Reports and Comment, MF.
Just an update from the codes office, that if somebody wants to make a complaint against a neighbor, you can go online to do and get the form, the complaint form, fill it out. You can, you have to sign it and then send it back to the codes office either via email or drop it off here in the mailbox. Because with the new property maintenance law, you have to be able to, you have to sign who the complaint is against, and the person that has the offense has to know who has complained about them.
So you can't use Twitter.
No. And then secondly, I have filed a complaint to Verizon Fios regarding some, I'll say, misleading advertising. If you have certain of their packages and you want to add other packages, it comes up using the remote that it may not cost you anything additional, but it may also change the lineup that you have. And on the screen, it doesn't say that. So that has gone to Fios. It was also copied to the Public Service Commission as well. And we had a land use committee meeting a couple weeks ago, and the discussion was on food trucks. We had a very informational meeting with a gentleman that owns or is in charge of CNY Food Truck Association. So we'll have to get together again and see how we proceed with that. But right now, I'm not ready to call another meeting. Okay? And that's it.
Okay, Darcy?
Nothing.
When?
Yeah, we had a Parks and, Parks Committee meeting last week. We are preparing to transition from our supervisor, our director, to our supervisor. Our director is retiring, the supervisor hopefully will be taking over that position, but that's still in the works. I'm going to call another committee, Parks Committee meeting on March 1st at 1:30 to make final discussions and decisions regarding if we're going to move forward with the playground program this year and opening the pool. With COVID still pretty much alive and going this year, we need to make some decisions about those two programs, so in order to give our residents enough time if we're not going to go forward. So we should have some information for everyone shortly after that meeting. Additionally, I have a Canton Woods Board of Directors meeting tomorrow, and I will let everyone know, report back to this board after that meeting. That's it.
You want to mention when they'll be able to make pavilion reservations?
Oh, yeah. Pavilion rentals reservations can start as of April 19th.
And Van Buren residents get the first crack at those dates as well.
Is that it, Wendy?
Yes,
What about the senior center meeting coming up?
tomorrow.
Mhm.
What about it?
Have you talked to anybody, or have there been any committee meetings on bylaws?
No, I discussed this earlier with Claude. Teresa Hegel, is it Hegel or Hugel? Hugel, had surgery, so she's been pushed out a couple weeks. There hasn't been a committee scheduled, so we won't be voting on it tomorrow. As you know, the meetings are every other month, so I don't expect this to come before that board for approval until April.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some time.
Okay,
We'll miss you tomorrow.
yeah. Let me know how things turn out.
I will.
Pat?
Couple things. First, I'd like to thank Doug and the crew. Even though they didn't have a lot to do a month ago, they certainly have been, and I'm very happy to be cozy in bed and hear them go by. So they've been doing a great job, and hopefully our residents are cooperating and keeping their cars off the street so that the guys can get, down and clear.
They probably stop for coffee if you get up to me.
Yeah, probably. And then secondly, the Labor Committee's been meeting. We did have a mediator that was of assistance and put together a package, and it was all verbally agreed to with the representatives. It has been sent, because it was drafted by our attorney who's been assisting our committee, and sent to the union rep, and I would imagine to the guys at the garage also. And it's been 2-3 weeks, and we haven't heard back at all, so.
We did.
Oh, we
There's been a
did?
recent flurry, and they took exception. They didn't believe that the comp time was locked at 150 hours a year. They thought you couldn't go above that. You could work it up and down.
Mhm.
But Mary Francis's notes and Melinda's notes said, no, that was a
That's
cap.
my understanding
That's
also
all you
was
could
that
use in a year.
that was a cap.
So that's the last bone of contention. If they get that worked out, then we assume that there'll probably be ratification coming shortly.
Good, okay. And as in all negotiations, we all had to do some giving and taking, so I think we ended up with a good package, and hopefully it will move forward.
Is that it?
Thank you, that's it.
Okay. Howard?
Yeah, we had a public safety meeting. I forget the date. 25th. All right. And it was conducted mostly by Casey Palmer, who deals with the agencies, the police departments for fires, and of course the fire chiefs and things like that. And they reported that they don't have any issues except some internal organizational things. The Northwest Fire District is going to get all the calls now to come into the central area that we represent. And they brought up I mentioned before the meeting to you, Doug, would you call the fire chief to find out about a dry hydrant behind the plastics companies?
Which one are we supposed to be calling?
The one in Baldwinsville. They're gonna be the
Northwest then.
Northwest Fire District chief. I don't know what the issue was. I guess they don't have one yet and they'd like it.
I don't know, because it's not normally our first.
You're talking behind the old Sirocco?
Uh-huh.
We don't only.
We've got county water there, so I don't know what the problem would be.
Well, they mentioned it. And I know we have one on the new Route 31.
Problem is, they talk about putting it in the river,
Uh-huh.
how are we gonna get down
I don't know. There's a railroad track.
there? Yeah, there's not like the river's right next, it's gonna be a problem.
I think the
especially
hydrant-
in the winter, who's gonna keep it plowed out and everything else?
Well, that's what they want to talk about.
Right, there's no sewage works down in there too. So
Mhm.
It's not a place you wanna go driving around Baja.
I know. I was down there during the carp tournament, so I know just what you're talking about.
Anyway,
Anyway, the ambulance corps was also there, and they are doing an heroic service. They're operating with limited facilities, not facilities, but manpower and things like that. Of course, the urgency with the COVID is even more dire now than it was before. And they would request any contributions, volunteerism or money or whatever it takes, but they need help. So that's my public appeal. Thank you.
Claude, how do you feel about me talking about my idea on
very good to bring that up.
over the past couple of weekends, I've noticed how many people have been up there sliding on the hill and enjoying the park, and I'm very happy about that, and I'm sure Wendy is gonna be right there with you to get out and use this park. But we've been having some issues with people parking, and it's happening on the shoulder of the road. So what I have done is approach town engineer and the highway superintendent and John in the park. And sometime this summer, we're going to try to enlarge the parking lot up on top of the sledding hill. We don't know how many cars that we can get in there, but Jason and Doug are going to take a look at this so we can alleviate this problem. We gotta get the cars off the road as many as we possibly can, so that people can go out there and enjoy the park. And this is something that we're gonna be looking at this year. I have seen the problem, and we're gonna try to fix it.
This problem was presented to me today, and the comment was made, why not plow the softball field side open, leave that gate open so they could park in there? A lot of the increased usage is due to COVID, because there's nothing else to do. So we're inundated this year, when other years this hasn't been a problem, but I do think that parking lot should be enlarged.
Do you really think that coming across from the other side of the park with the water and the creek and all that is a good thing?
It'll be a long walk, but I put a call into John, he didn't get back to me before the end of the day, so I'll talk to him tomorrow. But I don't want to plow that right down to the oil and stone and mess up the oil and stone. So if he could plow it, keep his shoes high, set his shoes high while he's plowing that, it might be, we'll try it and see if it works for the rest of this winter.
Into plowing the whole park like
No.
years ago, I do
No.
not want to do
No.
that. If we're gonna do that, I want it to come from Connors into the park, and that's it.
Right, right. So I'll talk to him tomorrow about that. If he thinks he can open that up and not screw up the oil and stone surface that's there. That's why we quit plowing that, is to give it more longevity.
Yes.
Because that's a big area over there, and we don't want to have to repave it every 5-6 years. So.
Is there any way for pedestrian traffic to get from that lot?
There is a culvert at the south end of the pond that they could walk across, but do they want to walk in knee-deep snow? That's the problem.
That's what I thought, and that creek is right there too.
Yeah, going the other way, if it's there, they have to walk on Connors Road.
Right. There is a culvert that feeds the pond in that creek, but they'll have to walk in knee-deep snow to get there, so I don't know, but I'll be talking to John about it. We could give it a try, see if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll just quit plowing it and shut the gates.
Well, I guess quick fix for this year.
Right,
But
right.
But the parking area will be
Yes.
extended.
Yeah,
Which is, it's a relatively speaking, easy task, it's just, it can't be done in the winter time.
no, right.
And as time goes on, you're gonna, the both are gonna determine how much we can increase the parking up there.
Okay, it's a good idea to expand that. Highway superintendent.
As Councilor Hickman said, the guys have been very busy, and thank you for recognizing them, they've done a fantastic job. She did mention one thing that I would like to reiterate to people. Parking on the roads has become an issue this year. This past week, I had to actually contact the sheriff twice to help us with this, with repeat offenders that we've given notices and notices and notices and notices. Several of them were parked directly in front of, in the same camera shot was a no parking anytime sign. It is absolutely critical to stay off the road so we can get them clear. One of the other things that people sometimes forget is how long it takes for a route to get plowed. If it's quick and easy, it can be as little as 2 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours. If it's heavy snow and a lot of things going on, it can be 4.5 hours. If we stop every 5 or 10 minutes for every time there's a car on the side of the road, 3 cars, you just wasted another half an hour. So it's absolutely critical for both your own safety and for everybody else's safety to stay off the roads in the morning hours so we can get everything cleaned up. If you see a plow coming, you're out cleaning your driveway, please move it. It just makes it so much easier for everybody to get everybody taken care of quickly, efficiently. Other than that, hopefully, knock on wood, our trucks have been holding up, guys have been holding up, nobody's been sick, and they're doing a fantastic job, and hopefully we get through the rest of the winter with no incidents.
Doug, question. When people have a snowplow service and they pull the snow out into the road, they have to get it back onto the resident's yard. They cannot leave that in the road. Is that correct?
Whether it's plow, shovel, or snow blow, you cannot put snow into a public roadway.
Especially apartments, right?
It is, and when you know, some people do it to melt stuff. Well, if you're a car traveling at 25, 30 miles an hour, and you hit a clump of something that was shoveled, plowed, or snowblowed, it's usually a denser, packed-in material. It can wreak havoc on a car in a hurry and send you spinning. Please do not do that.
Doug, are you issuing notices or tickets for people who are still parking on the road?
We have just a standard form that says, please, you know, when we lay it on the license plate and leave it on the person's vehicle, saying, please do not park, and state the code that says that you can't park, blah, blah, blah. We do that several times. After that, we call the sheriffs and ask them to go take care of it. They will actually try and communicate with the person one time. Usually, if not, they will issue tickets. I cannot issue a ticket. But we do give our own little
Notice,
informative
yeah.
letter, per se. I'll put it, you know, please, asking them to please not park on the road.
That it?
That's it.
Okay. You'll recall that Assemblyman Magnarelli usually has a town hall meeting night. This year it's going to be done virtually. They're calling it the Van Buren Zoom meeting. It'll be Thursday, February 25th at 7 p.m. If you'd like the Zoom link information, you can contact Assemblyman Magnarelli's office to get that. I'm going to have to do that myself. And he has his survey out. If you get that in the mail from him, I know they appreciate getting the results back, and that helps them decide what legislation to pursue. So take care of that if you would, please. January 25th was the day for committee meetings. The Highway Committee met. We went over several things regarding the highway garage, 2021 roadwork plan, equipment purchases, safety training, road improvements down in Seneca Knolls, a project out on East Dead Creek Road at Route 31, work in the Seneca Drainage District, our community development and Snowdale Drive drainage, and then a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. But this committee meeting kind of lays out the work plan for the year, what we feel we can get done. And Doug, of course, has his own list too. So when we combine those two, that pretty much fills up all the highway department's available time or more. So, so that was done on the 25th. That's all I have. Citizens' comments, Lauren? Okay.
This may just be a silly question, but I always needed to know the information. As for the parks, we mentioned the sledding hill earlier. Just for clarification, where are the regional restrictions? How high can you go on the hill? What areas are you supposed to be sledding down? Is there an off-limits location? I've always been wondering that, and just to get some clarification from the officials, from the source. Does anybody have that type of?
I believe I know there used to be a sign up there. I'm not sure if it's still there or not, that gave the guidelines for usage of the hill, but you can go all the way to the top. We don't like to see people going out onto the pond in case the ice isn't safe. There are a couple obstacles up there that they need to avoid, like barbecues around the lodge and,
Trees,
pardon me?
trees.
Yeah, there's a couple trees down there, and there also is a electrical transformer that they need to avoid. So that, and there's a fence down there too that they need to avoid. So other than that, that's about it. If you're in good enough shape to walk back up that hill after going down once, you're in good shape. So.
And you are at your own risk up there too.
Yeah, it's on Silver.
You are at your own risk.
Yep. Jason, you got anything? Nadine? Okay, anyone else have anything else to bring before the board? Not hearing anything, entertain a motion to adjourn to the February 17th regular town board meeting.
Moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you for coming, Lauren.